Hello everybody. Today we will actually see what you need to know to pass your PTOE exam. So I will just discuss the topics that you should be familiar with or you should read so that you can pass your PTOE exam comfortably. Okay. So first let's start with the first chapter, which is traffic operations study. So what you need to know from traffic operations study. So first you need to know what is mean. Basic things: mean, median, mode, standard deviation, dispersion. Standard deviation and dispersion. So you need to read about these things. Okay. The basic you need to know about AADT, average annual daily traffic, and average daily traffic. These two terms are important. Also, it is important that you know what are the counting periods. Like there is a peak hour, right? Like there is an AM peak, PM peak, like that. What are the counting periods? So some people do, like sometimes some traffic studies needs 24-hour counting periods, some need 16-hour counting period, one is 12-hour counting period, and the fourth one is peak hour, I think, which many people are familiar with. It is needed in many impact studies or many other studies like that. And the fifth one, I also think many people have done it, which is weekend counting period. Okay, weekend peak hour basically. So so one more thing, it is important that you need to know that in 16 hour you will cover 90 to 95% of the traffic. If you do a 16-hour traffic count, 90 to 95% of the AADT volume will be covered. Okay, so this one is also important, which you need to know. And the timings is also very important, which you can remember. This is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, then the number fourth one which you need to know, let's move to the next one. Fourth, which is volume adjustment factor. Volume adjustment factors. So what are those volume adjustment factors? One is, let's say you are doing, what is a volume adjustment factor for f of Tuesday? So first you need to do AADT divided by Tuesday AADT. That is the volume adjustment factor for Tuesday. Let's say you need to do it for month A of April. So you will do normal AADT divided by April ADT. Okay, so these are the volume adjustment factors. So the fifth point, which is important, which you need to study, is what are spot speed studies. Spot speed. So spot speed studies, generally people do it with radar guns. You can find the speed with a radar gun, right? So generally it is used for, like, if when you get your speed through spot speeds through a radar gun, that will be generally used for time mean speed. If you average all of them, you get time mean speed, which we will discuss later. This is time mean speed, and space mean speed is also very important for you to know. And spot speed, the true speed will be measured speed divided by cos delta. Let's say you are standing here, the car is here, and the car is going in this direction. This is delta. So you found the measured speed, whatever, divided by cos delta will be the true speed. Okay, and also we need to know is just 176. So how many samples do you need? Like how many sample data you need? Which we will get it from n equals s times k divided by e square, where e is the standard deviation E is the estimated error, and K is a constant for, let's say, 95% or 99% level of confidence. So you will get accordingly K. So this is very important also. And also, next, what is important for traffic operations study topic is what is 85th percentile speed. Like the speed limit is generally based on 85th percentile, 85th percentile. This is not percentage. Okay, 85th percentile speed. So, and 85th percentile speed, and here there is a concept called pace, which is like 70% of traffic data will fall here under here. So this is around, this pace is 10 miles per hour range basically. So what is pace? I will show you a little bit here. Let's say the traffic 85th percentile speed is the speed limit, right? So you get the traffic like something like there. Let's say this is the 85th percentile speed. Okay, this point is 85th percentile speed. So from here, if this is a upper limit, and if you take lower limit, let's say 10 miles per hour less, then this range will be whatever the speed. Let's say this speed limit is 65 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, and you got, and the 10 mile less is 55. So 55 to 65 is the pace for this scenario, right? 70% of the traffic data you will find here. So police only wants to concentrate on this 15 percentile, 15 percentile data police wants to concentrate. Okay, so next let's move to the number 8, which is curve advisory speed. Curve advisory speed. So you will get this more detail in geometry when you will study geometric design. So I think you all know V square divided by 15R equals 0.01 E plus F. So this is a relation between super elevation, side friction, radius of curvature, and the velocity of the road, basically velocity of the car. So this is actually design speed. So this V. Okay, so based on that you will get this curve advisory speed. You can propose a curve advisory speed which you need to know. So this formula basically, but you will get all these formulas in your formula sheet. Okay, so number 9 that we need to know is what is travel time. These four concepts you can read it up. What is travel time, what is running time. So if you are doing a travel time, like you're trying to find the speed, travel time, uh, travel speed on any segment of road, you will come across this travel time, running time, then fixed delay, operational delay. These four terms you can read it up. This is also important for your PTOE exam. Operational delay. Okay, and the other thing which is very important is space mean speed and time mean speed. Space mean speed and time mean speed. So let me just give you a brief idea of what is space mean speed and what is time mean speed. So let's say if you have a, this is a road, right? You are finding through the what is the speed of vehicles passing this point through a radar gun. Here you are standing at this location with a radar gun. You are trying to find what are the speeds of vehicles which are passing at this point on the road. So all the velocities that you get, v1, v2, v3, all the average velocities dot 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 divide by n, if you do this is called time mean speed. This is time mean speed. But the space mean speed will be, let's say your vehicle is here and this is the entire road length from here to here, and the vehicle reached here at a time t1. Another vehicle reached from here to here with a time t2. Then the distance is constant, right? From here to here the distance is constant d. So the time mean speed will be d divided by all the time, average of all the time, t1 t2 plus dot 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 tn divided by n. This will be sorry, this will be space mean speed. Okay, so because the space, you see, the space is constant, you are getting different times for different vehicles, so that's how you calculate space mean speed. These two terms are very important. Okay, so number 11, you will do a pedestrian study. There will be a topic of pedestrian study. You can read that up. But the more important thing is, in the pedestrian study, the more important thing is, what is the pedestrian walking speed for from a PTOE perspective. Pedestrian walking speed. So pedestrian walking speed, you always need to remember, it is 3.5 feet per second square. Okay. And number two, you have to go through is some parking study. You have to read parking study. You will get four terms which are important in respect to parking study. One is accumulation, one is occupancy, one is duration, and the other one is turnover. You can, it's very simple actually concepts. So I would like you to read this ones. What is accumulation, what is occupancy, what is duration. So there will be a chart like this, and the vehicle, let's say this time interval is 7 a.m. So every 15 minutes you will calculate, you will see, you will have a record which vehicle is there, is vehicle 1 is there, next interval also vehicle 1 is there, right? You can do the, this is the, you can do it like here, 7, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, every interval. So it's not in this side, it's on the vertical axis. So that's how you will have a record of all the data, and from there you will find what is accumulation, what is occupancy, what is duration, what is turnover. Okay. So number 13 point, which is important for traffic operations point of view, is traffic impact study. You need to know what is a traffic impact study, why we do it, what is bypass cars. Okay, so some of those terms. Then traffic trip generation, trip distribution, and assignment. Trip generation, trip distribution, and assignment. Okay, so these are very important for your PTOE also. Okay, and number 5, which is the next one, number 14, which is very important, these two numbers. Okay, which is for, let's say, if you are doing an urban and regional planning. We have urban and regional planning. So these two questions they ask very often, I have seen, is like, let's say it's greater than 50,000 population. If you have a greater than 50,000 population, then you will have a transportation planning process for that zone. If the zone has a greater than 50,000 population, transportation planning process. But if it has a greater than 200,000 population, then it will have a transportation management, that those are called transportation management areas. Okay. So please remember these two terms with respect to these two data. If it has a greater than 50,000 population, then that process, then they will have a transportation planning process. If it has a greater than 200,000 population, then that area is called as transportation management areas. Okay. And the last point which is important with respect to traffic operation studies is steps in long range transportation planning models. So what are the steps in long range, basically, which are 20 or 50-year projects, long range transportation planning models? Okay, so what are the steps? There are 4 steps which you need to remember. One is, what will be the trip generation, trip distribution, trip distribution. Then the third one is mode split. What will be the different sort of modes, whether they will take transit or personal cars, right? What will be the mode split? And the last is trip assignment. So that is all with respect to the first topic, traffic operation studies. You need to know these 15 points. I think you are good to go for PTOE from a PTOE standpoint. So next topic that we will discuss now, the second topic that you need to read. Not let me not write like that. Second topic is traffic operations uninterrupted flow. So this is a second topic which you need to read. This is the second chapter. Okay, traffic operations uninterrupted flow. So what you need to know from here? So number one, which is very important, you need to know is what is a flow rate. So flow rate, let's say is V or volume. So when you have 1 hour, we call it as volume, or else we call it as flow rate. Let's say 15 minutes. With that, when we convert that 15 minutes volume data into volume, we got call it as flow rate. So number two is speed. What is speed? Number three is density. What is density? You need to know. So flow rate, volume, the reciprocal of flow rate. These are also very important. The reciprocal of flow rate is travel time. The reciprocal of speed is headway, and the reciprocal of density is spacing. So these terms are also very important. Okay, I'm not going into detail into explaining what is speed, what is density, what is spacing, headway, because I hope that you have come a long way to even sit for the exam. You guys know all these things, right? Because you are allowed to sit, but here my objective is to narrow you down so that you can focus on the right areas. And because the syllabus is not very well defined, and there is no such material out there where they can give you some preparations. Okay, so I just want you to narrow down your focus on what you need to study for the PTOE to pass the PTOE exam. Okay, so flow rate is V equals to speed times density. I hope you guys know it. This equation is also very important from a P2A standpoint, and all the graphs basically. Speed versus density. So let's say this is the undersaturated area and this is the oversaturated area. Speed versus density, then speed versus flow. Speed versus flow, you need to know this is undersaturated, this is the oversaturated part, and the last one is flow versus density. Flow versus density. So this is undersaturated and this is the oversaturated part. So all these things you need to know. uh, and you see, you can easily find speed is what, miles per hour. So the opposite reciprocal is what is the hour, how much basically headway is, how much it's hour per. So headway is actually like in hours or seconds or time. So because you, it's basically what it's saying is there is a car here, how much ahead in time this the first car is from the second car. So this car, this is a, let's say this is car number one, this is car number two. So car number one passed this point at t equals t1, and then the car number two passed this point at t equals t2. Then t1 minus t2, that will be the headway. Okay, so I don't want to go into the actual discussion of what is headway, what is spacing, but yes, you need to know all these things, right? Then let's move to the fourth topic that is important, which is PHF. I guess you guys know peak hour factor. Still, let me just write it. What is peak hour factor? Is hourly volume divided by 4 times peak 15 minutes volume. Okay, so this is peak hour factor, and as I said, time means speed, space means speed, space means speed. I discussed these two concepts even in the traffic operations, so these two are important even for uninterrupted flow perspective. The same thing where you need to know what is TMS and what is space means speed, what is time means speed. So now let's move to the next topic. So next topic is freeway capacity analysis. So freeway capacity analysis. So freeway can be divided into three parts. One is the basic freeway segment. The basic freeway segment. Okay. Basic freeway segment. One is the weaving segment. Weaving segment. And the last one is the ramp junctions. So you need to know basically how to calculate the level of service, at least for the basic freeway segment, and how is generally calculated for weaving segment and for ram junction, just from a overview. Okay, not you don't need to go to HCS and remember all the HCM, sorry, highway capacity manual. You don't need to go and remember all each and every step, but from an overview you can remember. But at least for basic freeway segment you need to remember how it's done. So you first find the VP, what is the hourly flow rate basically. That you do it by V divided by PHF times N times FH times FP. Okay, so this is heavy vehicle and this is driver population. This is heavy vehicle and this is driver population. So these factors will be important. Okay, so remember these factors. And then you calculated what is the free flow speed. The free flow speed is 75.4 minus FLW minus FLC minus 0.84, sorry, minus 3.22 times TRD times over 0.84. So basically you don't need to remember the formula, but the important thing that you need to remember is free flow speed depends on what? It depends on FLW, and it depends on FLC, and it depends on TRD, right? So FLW is adjustment for right lateral clearance. FLC is right lateral clearance, and FLW is lane width, right? And TRD is total ramp density. So these factors, like FFS depends on which factors. That is an important question. Okay, but you don't need to remember the formula basically. And from here, what you do is, V equals S times D. You calculated density, and based on density there is a graph which you will find when you study. From the density you can find the level of service. Okay, there will be a graph, and the level of service will be like this, and these are the free flow speeds. So based on this density you will find wherever it falls, let's say it falls here, it will be level of service B, right? So like that. So you need to remember basic steps, like how do you calculate it, like how it's working. First we are calculating VP, then the free flow speed, and then the density, and from the density we are calculating the level of service. So for weaving section, what we are doing, the level of service is calculated based on average running speed and density. You don't need to know in detail. If you want, you can read. That's fine. They see M and actually remember how it's done. But generally, you don't need to know from a P2A standpoint. So based on average running speed and density. So that's how weaving section level of service is calculated, and ramp junction level of service is calculated based on density in ramp area of influence. Based on density in ramp area of influence. So let's say this is a ramp. So area of influence will be like this much portion. If it's a exit lane, exit ramp, and let's say there is an entry ramp is like this, entry ramp, then the area of influence will be somewhere like this. Okay. So that is how you will calculate the what are the freeway capacity analysis, three segments of the freeway: basic freeway segment, weaving segment, and the ramp junctions. So next one topic that is important from P2A standpoint in this chapter is traffic congestion. Traffic congestion. This is very important actually. You will get couple of problems from traffic congestion. Basically, it depends. Just read this topic like carefully. Okay, traffic demand. Traffic demand when it is greater than traffic capacity. That time the congestion happens. Okay, so clear these concepts. Like under base condition, what is the freeway capacity under base condition? This is also very important. Under base condition, freeway capacity freeway capacity is 2250 to 2400 passenger cars per hour per lane. So this term is also very important. And also remember one thing, like let's say the freeway capacity, we have two lanes. This is a just important concept, that's why I'm discussing it. Let's say this freeway capacity, this all the lanes have a capacity of 2400 pcphl, okay, passenger cars per hour per lane. But let's say this one gets blocked, there is an accident in this lane, this one gets blocked, immediately the other lanes, the capacity is now no longer 2400, it all will get dropped to 1800, 1800 to 2200, something like that. But generally we, for the exam purpose, we will consider it, they will fall, basically they will reduce, that's the first thing. But we will consider they will reduce to 1800 pcphl, pcphpl. Okay, so when one lane gets blocked, for some reason the other lanes in a freeway, the capacity reduces drastically. Okay, so to 1800. So this also you need to know. And always you need to find what is the traffic demand. There will be problems where you need to find, you need, they will give you traffic demand, you have to find, they will give you traffic capacity, then how many lanes you can increase to meet the demand. Those type of problems will come. Okay, easy problems, but you need to be careful, you need to understand how it's working. Okay, number 7 which you need to read, read these two topics. You will get some, at least one question from ramp metering, maybe 2 3 questions also. This comes up, ramp metering and incident management, these two topics are important. Like theoretical questions will come, but it will come sometimes. With ramp metering, a problem will come from capacity and ramp metering, they will try to merge these two, because they will say there is a freeway, the capacity of the freeway they will let you know, and there is a ramp, the demand they will let you know. So how many cars they should leave, they should allow to merge into the freeways to meet the to meet the demand, basically based on the capacity, how many cars they should allow uh, to flow into the freeway from the ramp. So basically, one problem you can expect from ramp metering capacity, they will merge these two concepts and make a problem. Okay, so please look into this also. Number 8, which you need to read is, what are there are two managed lanes, which is like high occupancy lanes. Just basic concept of this. It's not. I mean, if I tell you right now, you will understand. That's it. High occupancy lanes, which is the HOV lanes, and the pavement marking will be diamond shaped. This diamond shaped always goes with high occupancy lanes. This is very important. You can expect one question from here. What is this? Which shape goes with high occupancy lanes? That is a diamond lens. One, and there is another high managed lens, which is high occupancy toll lanes. High occupancy toll, which is called HOT lanes. So please read about this one's high occupancy toll lanes. Basically, if you pay money, you are allowed to use this lane. Okay, so based on if you want to pay money or not. So just read it once. It's whatever I said. It's very simple. High occupancy toll lanes still. Number 9, which you need to know about, is reversible lane, and contraflow lane. So reversible lane, you guys know, it's like change the directional capacity of a freeway in order to accommodate peak direction traffic demands. So maybe in the morning, let's say in the morning they are allowing traffic here this side in the morning. In the evening, they reversed it. They are letting traffic flow in the other side. Okay, and contraflow lane is basically they use a device such as a movable median, which in essence shift the facility's center line locations. So there they use a movable median for contra flow lanes. Okay. So this much is fine if you know this much at least. And the other thing, the last thing that you need to read on this topic, traffic operations, uninterrupted flow, is this is important also. You will get some theoretical questions, which is transportation demand management. How they are managing the demand, transportation demand management. Please read this topic from some anywhere you get hold of. This is important topic. You will get at least 2 3 questions theoretical in your PTOE. So next we will make some other videos, the 2 other videos on PTOE. We will cover the other 4 chapters which are discussed in PTOE. This is our here in this video we discussed 2 of the chapters. 4 more chapters are left. We will cover it in the next videos. Okay. So hope you find this useful. Hope you understood what you need to read. And in case if you want me to cover in depth uh, these topics and you are not understanding and you want me to cover in depth, then I can make separate videos on that. But right now the 3 videos that I am planning to make is only about what you need to study for your PTO exam to clear it up. It's not like you have to study the entire traffic engineering, whatever signal design, this that. No, just keep it limited. Okay, so that's the only purpose of making this video, so that you don't get distracted and you have something to focus on. So that's all for this video. Hope you like this video. Please like the video in case you find it beneficial, and subscribe to our channel. That keeps our motivation level high to make such videos for you guys. Thank you again. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.